You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I think one of the last things I want to mention is that there are going to be plenty of folks that are, they wake up after, New Year's and maybe they're doing some shopping for homes online. They've got the day off work. Some folks are going to realize that a significant portion of what was for sale a few days ago is no longer for sale. Right? Every year at the first of the year, we've got about somewhere between 10 and 20% of the inventory available for sale just kind of disappears overnight. And I know I've mentioned this on this program before, but the reason for that is real estate agents write their listing agreements between them and their seller to expire at the end of the year. So you're going to see a large portion of listings disappear overnight on January 1st. In an environment, of course, where we have low inventory to begin with. And then, of course, those sellers will kind of trickle in over the next few weeks or months as they relist their property for sale. Sometimes with the same agent, sometimes with a different agent. Sometimes they're just fed up with agents in general and they try to sell it on their own. But whatever the case might be, we're going to see inventory dip down for the first probably month of 2023 before those listings get back on the market. But what's always interesting to me is that people choose not to list their property for sale in December or January because of the preconceived notion that it's just not as busy and it's not as good as the spring months. Well, to an extent, that's true. There's certainly more activity in the spring and summer months, but there's also a lot more competition. I think you need to take two main things into consideration. Number one is, of course, the seasonality of the market. Yes, it exists. There are people that just don't want to move during the holidays. I get it, right? They don't have to move. They'd like to transact. But hey, at the same time, if the right property hit the market, nothing's stopping them from moving forward, especially now. I mean, you're not going to move in until February anyways. But I always find this time of year that although the quantity is lower, the quality is higher. Let's be honest, there aren't many people out there that willingly list their property for sale or take time out of their time off to go and shop for real estate if they're not going to transact, if they're not serious about it. Of course, you're always going to have some tire kickers, and that's why we pre-qualify our showings, right? Especially for folks that live in the home. If you work from home and you've got to pack up the car with your kids and your dog and disappear for an hour, after having already cleaned up your home to get it ready for someone to see, it's going to get really frustrating when you learn that the feedback from the buyer said, "Oh, it's a beautiful home, but we're not going to move for another year." I mean, it's just total waste of time. So obviously you need to be protective of your time. That is something your real estate agent should be doing for you, which is why you want to interview your agents. You really want to understand what it is they're going to be doing from a marketing perspective. How are they proactively finding buyers for your home? Show me how you're going to do that. Don't just tell me. And then what does communication look like with us? What can we expect as it relates to our working relationship? And what's going to be the game plan if we hit the market and we don't have the kind of traction that we think we're going to have? What if the market gets worse? What's our game plan? All of these things need to be discussed with your real estate agent, and they need to be able to very clearly articulate a game plan given scenario 1, 2, 3, XYZ. The benefit, I think, in working with me is that I've seen a full market cycle. I rose to the top of the market when the market crashed and have been there ever since. And so I provide you with, I think, some experience that a lot of agents in this market just don't have yet, and nothing against them. It's just the reality. They just haven't sold real estate in this kind of a market before. So if you're looking to work with somebody that truly is experienced, that understands how to position your property to sell and net the most money, given some of the different scenarios or different incentives that we offer, then I'd love to earn your business. Feel free to give me a call, 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Check us out online at listingsincharleston.com. and enjoy your holidays. Thanks for listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 10. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009.